Hi, everyone. Glad you could join us for this short uh, video about a new experiment in learning and community that Andrew Hale and I are going to be offering. It's called Transforming Perspectives on Difficult Behavior. The dogs are waiting. So why are we doing this? Well, first of all, we know things are changing in dog training. There are definitely a lot of movements afoot, and there's a big paradigm shift happening. And paradigm shifts are often very confusing. You can talk about theory, you can talk about knowledge, but in terms of paradigm shifts in dog training, I want to know, okay, what difference does this make in terms of what I'm doing every day with my own dogs and my clients, right? So we wanted to actually offer support, share our journeys, as a way of helping you think about what this shift means for you in your own life with your own dogs and with your clients. So just a tiny bit about the what this is going to involve, and you can read the document and go to the link that's going to give you much more detailed information about logistics. We're envisioning this as an integrated 3-session experience, but connected in between by a community effort. We are going to be offering a session in early December, probably toward the end of January and the end of February. First session is going to be freewheeling. What are the new perspectives? What are the questions? And what do they mean for me? Second, we are really going to focus in, do a really thoughtful and we hope game-changing dive into this whole notion of safety, because that underlies almost every change and everything we do in our relationships, both human and canine. And then the third session is going to involve what is going to be really different and unique about our offering. And we are going to share real life case studies with you. We're going to walk you through how we took on difficult cases, how we approach them in a new way, because most of the time the cases we get are ones that people have tried a number of other approaches and they haven't really worked. So we want to offer real life experience from actual dogs and their humans. And I think that is going to be a unique experience for us and for people in our event. So we're going to give you a little flavor of this now. And I'm going to turn it over to Andy for a few minutes to talk about, what is a paradigm shift? Why do we feel the need for transforming perspectives on difficult behavior? And most importantly, why are the dogs waiting?
Well, hi everybody. Hi Laura. I think I just love the title of what we've come up with, Laura, because it kind of really does say do what it says on the tin. And especially if people when they hear you, it's transforming perceptions on difficult behavior, period. We're not talking dog behavior specifically, Because as we've discussed before, behavior is behavior, and actually a lot of the conversations that are going on in dog training started happening in child educational psychology and early development maybe 20, 30 years ago in the more progressive side there. Because we can very easily fall into this notion of, use the word safety, Laura, for example, me thinking, right, if my dog does this or doesn't do that, then somehow they're okay. So if I can control the outcome, if I can put some consequence around outcome, then everything's going to be all right. The problem, though, is, have we asked the dog? And this is the thing about the dogs are waiting. The dogs are desperately waiting for us to work it out. Dogs more generally, Laura, but also that individual, beautiful, unique dog in front of us who has a story to tell us, who has an emotional truth, who has a notion of safety that is important for them. And you and I, we attract these cases that are very challenging on many levels. And quite often they've been to multiple trainers, and this isn't a kind of a better than or worse than, it's just different to, where the arbitrary, I think that's the really important word here, Laura, the arbitrary changing of behavior has been the focus, without necessarily thinking, have we provided relief for this dog, and does this dog feel safe? I love Rachel Leather when she says you can't teach safety, you have to feed it. So this paradigm shift really is about us thinking, right, we've done the how really well in dog training. We've had many discussions about the how. We're really good at the how. This is about asking the questions of the why. And when you shift that perception, and that's what we're going to look at in our first kind of session with everybody, is what is that perception shift? What does it look like? What are those kind of perceived wisdoms that we kind of hold dear that maybe we need to start thinking about and actually reevaluating some of the things that we have perhaps taken as being the way of doing things. Maybe it's time now for us to think, are these actually fit for purpose when we start thinking about how we best support the individual care and support needs of an individual? And a lot of the things, as you say, Laura, come down to this notion of safety.
Yes.
Especially, my big area, as is yours, I know, is this notion of social safety. And we're going to look at all that. We're going to look at that. So the first one really is that big perception shifter, how we break away from the notion of that good to bad continuum that we're all indoctrinated in. I'm going to inject quite a bit of the kind of psychology on this stuff because it's important, because there's a lot of stuff that we just don't recognize because we're not aware of it. And when you're aware of some of these things, you can't not see it.
Right.
And that's what I love about our quote from good old Proust, because it's not that anything's changed for the dog. The dog's been doing the same thing, right? It's the eyes through which we look at it. But the special thing for me about this event is you and I really quite making ourselves quite vulnerable, Laura, really opening ourselves up to how we work right from the beginning of that process, right the way through, how we unpack things, how we look at breaking things down so that we can really think about the best level of support, not just for the dog, but for the caregiver. And so that final session, then, when we'll be sharing case studies all the way through, by the way, we'll be referencing things and talking about stuff. But those case studies will be really good for referencing, I think. But all the way through, what we've tried to create with this community immersive event is that anybody who is part of this event can share their stories, they can ask questions, they can put things to us. We're looking at doing just little drop by Facebook Lives along the way within that close community. So I really hope that it will give a chance for people to feel that they're being supported as they think about it. And you talked about this, it's really important, Laura. What does it mean for them? What does it mean for you listening now? This is not this is the way you do stuff event. This is about, let's help you, let's invite you to think about things in a new way, and then we'll try and help you to find out the best way for that for you moving forwards. It's going to be, I'm really excited about it, Laura.
Yeah, and I think at the heart of the whole purpose of this is how changing the questions changes what you do in your everyday life with not just dogs, but animals, and the people you live with. Because I totally echo that transforming difficult behavior, not just the dogs, we humans have to change what we're doing too. And here's just one example of that change. What difference would it make if instead of going in with a laundry list and boxes you check that equal a quote unquote well-behaved dog, right? You instead, with your own dog or a client dog, asked as the very first question, what do I need to learn from you to help you feel safe and to navigate the space in a way that makes sense to you? I predict that might change almost everything you do. Not just with the dog, but with the team, with the whole context. And I think that is just one way in which this paradigm shift is just a revolution. That's what we're talking about. It's a transformation. So I hope that you will join us. We're offering a discount for people who register during the Aggression in Dogs conference. We'll be saying more about this in other groups, dog-centered care, through my social media after, but take your opportunity now to really come on this journey with us. That is what we are asking. And we don't think there's anything like it out there. There are many, many programs you can choose from that emphasize knowledge and practices. But I think what really makes ours unique is we want to support you. This is reciprocal learning. We're emphasizing the transformative community. And we think it's going to be a really incredible journey and experience. Bye.